They told you muscle loss after 60 is just part of aging. That your body is like an old machine, slowly breaking down no matter what you do. But here's the shocking truth. Research from the University of Arkansas shows that in many cases, it's not age itself destroying your muscle. It's a silent nutritional gap that almost no doctor talks about. And this missing nutrient isn't protein. It's not creatine. It's a vitamin, one that works like a switch in your body's cells, turning on the machinery that repairs and rebuilds muscle tissue. Now here's the kicker. More than 70% of people over 60 are deficient in it, according to data from the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. And when you're low in it, every workout, every healthy meal, every effort you make to stay strong produces only a fraction of the result it should. Why does this matter so much? Because muscle is more than strength. It's your body's longevity engine. Strong muscle supports healthy joints, keeps your metabolism alive, protects against falls, and even sends powerful signals to your brain to keep it sharp. Lose muscle, and you don't just lose strength. You lose independence, stability, and years of healthy living. Here's what the research shows. After 60, your body's ability to rebuild muscle fibers slows dramatically, not because your muscles forget how, but because the signals telling them to repair get weaker. And that's exactly where this overlooked vitamin comes in. It acts as a biochemical messenger, telling your muscles, repair now, grow now. In this video, we'll explore 6 science-backed breakthroughs about this vitamin and your muscles. You'll learn why most people over 60 unknowingly sabotage their muscle repair. The hidden link between this vitamin and your mitochondria, your body's energy factories. How timing your intake can double its muscle-building effect. The surprising connection between this vitamin and your hormones. The real foods that give you the highest bioavailable form of it, and which ones to avoid. And finally, the simple daily protocol to restore optimal levels and get your muscle repair engine running again. And here's a little teaser. At the end, I'll share the story of a 71-year-old woman who was struggling to climb stairs, and within 12 weeks of making one small change with this vitamin, she was hiking trails again. So stick with me, because this isn't just about building muscle. It's about reclaiming the energy, balance, and confidence you thought you'd lost forever. Imagine your muscles are like a construction site. Every time you exercise, you create tiny damage, micro tears in the muscle fibers. Now, in your 20s or 30s, there's a crew of repair workers standing by, ready to rebuild those fibers stronger and thicker. But after 60, it's as if the foreman forgets to give the order to start work. The crew is still there, but they're just standing around, waiting for a signal. That signal is controlled largely by a molecular pathway called mTOR, short for mechanistic target of rapamycin. mTOR is like the master switch for muscle growth and repair. When it flips on, protein synthesis ramps up, damaged fibers get rebuilt, and your strength returns. But here's the twist. Studies from the University of Birmingham have shown that as we age, mTOR activity naturally declines, even when we eat enough protein. And here's where our overlooked vitamin comes in. It acts as a cofactor, meaning it's not the main building block, but it's the spark plug that makes the engine run. Without enough of it, mTOR signaling becomes sluggish. Your body gets the materials for repair, but fails to send the clear instruction to actually use them. Now, you might be wondering, which vitamin are we talking about? We'll get to that, but before we name it, let's understand why this is so crucial. Because simply loading up on protein shakes isn't enough. You can be eating the best grass-fed steak or wild salmon every day, but without this vitamin, you're essentially stockpiling bricks and cement at the construction site without hiring the crew to build anything. Here's what the research shows. A 2018 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults with adequate levels of this vitamin had significantly greater muscle mass and grip strength than those who were deficient, even when total protein intake was the same. The difference wasn't the amount of building material. It was the activation of the repair process. So why are so many people over 60 deficient? First, the body's ability to absorb this vitamin declines with age due to reduced stomach acid and changes in gut health. Second, modern diets have shifted away from traditional sources rich in it. And third, certain medications, especially common ones for blood pressure, diabetes, or heartburn, can deplete it even faster. If you've ever noticed that your workouts leave you more sore than they used to, or that it takes you longer to regain strength after an illness or injury, this signaling slowdown could be a big reason why. Here's a simple takeaway for now. Muscle repair is not just about giving your body more material. It's about making sure the repair signal is loud and clear. And this vitamin is one of the strongest amplifiers of that signal. In a moment, we'll explore how this same vitamin powers your mitochondria, the tiny energy factories inside your cells. And that's where the real story of lasting muscle strength begins. If the mTOR pathway is the foreman of your muscle repair crew, your mitochondria are the power plants keeping the lights on at the construction site. Every muscle contraction, every repair process, every movement you make, from lifting a grocery bag to climbing stairs, depends on ADP, your body's cellular energy currency. And where does ADP come from? Your mitochondria. Now here's the catch. After 60, mitochondrial efficiency drops. They produce less ADP and generate more oxidative stress, kind of like an old engine that sputters and smokes instead of purring smoothly. The overlooked vitamin we're talking about today is one of the key cofactors that keeps that engine running efficiently. Here's what the research shows. A study in the Journal of Physiology found that when older adults restored optimal levels of this vitamin, mitochondrial function improved significantly, leading to better endurance, faster recovery, and greater muscle mass retention. This is because the vitamin is directly involved in the electron transport chain, the critical step in ADP production. Without it, the chain slows, energy output drops, and muscle repair stalls. Think of it like this. You can have the best construction crew and the clearest orders to start building, thanks to mTOR. But if the power tools have dead batteries, progress is painfully slow. That's what low mitochondrial output does to your muscle recovery. Now here's something even more interesting. This vitamin also helps protect your mitochondria from oxidative damage, the kind that ages your cells prematurely. By reducing oxidative stress, it not only preserves energy production, but also protects your muscle cells from breaking down in the first place. And here's a practical insight. Mitochondria are most active when you're moving, not when you're sitting. This means pairing optimal vitamin intake with low-intensity movement, like walking, light resistance work, or even gentle stretching, can dramatically improve how your muscles absorb and use that energy. Before we move on, I want to give you a quick, easy experiment. For the next week, try adding 10 minutes of light activity after your main meals. It doesn't have to be intense, just enough to get your blood flowing. When paired with restoring this vitamin, it's like flipping the breaker switch on your body's energy grid. If this insight is helping you, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe, because there's a lot more science-backed muscle wisdom coming your way, and you don't want to miss the protocols we'll get to later in this video. Now, we'll explore how timing your intake of this vitamin can actually double its muscle-building effect, and why most people take it at the wrong time. When it comes to rebuilding muscle after 60, what you take matters, but when you take it can make the difference between getting modest results and unlocking your full strength potential. Here's why. Your body runs on daily rhythms, circadian rhythms, that govern everything from hormone release to digestion to cellular repair. Studies from the Salk Institute show that nutrient absorption and utilization can vary by as much as 50% depending on the time of day you take them. That means the same dose of this vitamin in the morning could have a dramatically different effect than if you took it late at night. So, what's the optimal timing for muscle repair? It turns out this vitamin works best when taken during your body's anabolic window, the period when your muscle cells are most sensitive to repair signals and nutrient uptake. For most people, especially those over 60, this window is within about 2 hours after resistance training or intentional muscle activation. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Even if you don't do heavy workouts, you can still trigger this window. Light resistance exercises, bodyweight movements, or even climbing stairs can prime your muscle cells to soak up this vitamin more effectively. Think of it like opening the gates to a factory so the delivery trucks can bring in fresh supplies. Another important factor, conutrients. This vitamin works in synergy with certain amino acids, especially leucine, to amplify mTOR activation. That means pairing it with a leucine-rich food or protein source can multiply its effect. For example, taking it alongside eggs, Greek yogurt, or a quality whey protein shake can be a game changer for muscle rebuilding. Here's a quick protocol to try. 1. Do 10 to 20 minutes of muscle activation, resistance bands, bodyweight squats, wall push-ups. 2. Within 2 hours, take your vitamin dose along with a leucine-rich protein source. 3. Follow it up with light movement, like walking, to aid circulation and nutrient delivery. What's happening in your body when you do this is fascinating. Muscle cells increase their uptake of amino acids, mTOR activation surges, and mitochondria ramp up ADP production, all fueled by the vitamin we're focusing on today. And here's a common mistake. Many people take this vitamin first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, without pairing it with protein or activity. That's like delivering construction materials to a job site before the workers arrive. The materials just sit there unused. Now, we'll connect the dots between this vitamin and your hormones, and why that relationship might be the missing link for people who are struggling with stubborn muscle loss after 60. If you've ever wondered why it felt easier to build and keep muscle in your 30s or 40s, hormones are a big part of the answer. Testosterone, estrogen, and growth hormone, regardless of whether you're male or female, all play critical roles in muscle protein synthesis, repair, and overall tissue health. But after 60, these hormones naturally decline, and that decline is one of the main reasons people lose muscle faster, recover slower, and feel weaker even with the same activity level. Here's where our overlooked vitamin quietly becomes a hormonal ally. Research published in Endocrinology shows that optimal levels of this vitamin can enhance the sensitivity of muscle and nerve cells to anabolic hormones, meaning your body responds better to the testosterone, estrogen, and growth hormone you still produce. It's like making your hormonal signal louder without actually increasing hormone levels. Here's what's happening in your body. Testosterone and estrogen support. This vitamin influences the way your cells express androgen and estrogen receptors. With more active receptors, even modest hormone levels can stimulate muscle repair more effectively. Growth hormone pathways. The vitamin also helps maintain healthy IGF-1 signaling, one of the key mediators of growth hormone effects in muscle tissue. Stress hormone balance. Chronic stress increases cortisol, which breaks down muscle. This vitamin plays a role in buffering the effects of oxidative stress, indirectly supporting a healthier cortisol balance. One study from the University of Milan found that older adults who supplemented with this vitamin for 6 months not only improved muscle mass, but also showed more favorable testosterone to cortisol ratios, a sign of a more anabolic, muscle-building, internal environment. And here's where behavior change comes in. The effects of this vitamin on hormones are amplified by strength-focused activity and good sleep. Without sleep, hormonal recovery plummets, and the vitamin can't do its full job. Think of it like putting premium fuel in your car, but never changing the oil. You won't see the performance you're capable of. Here's a small but powerful habit. Pair vitamin intake with brief resistance training and a solid wind-down routine at night to improve sleep quality. That combination gives your body the hormonal and cellular environment to repair muscle like it did decades earlier. Before we continue, I'll say this. If you've been finding these science-backed tools valuable, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the next section is where we get very practical. We're breaking down the exact foods that deliver the most bioavailable form of this vitamin and the common cooking mistakes that destroy it. When it comes to this muscle rebuilding vitamin, not all sources are created equal, and that matters deeply for people over 60 who want real, lasting results. First, let's talk food. Some traditional foods are packed with the bioavailable, active form of this vitamin. These include organ meats like liver, certain types of fish such as salmon and mackerel, and egg yolks. The problem? Many people shy away from these foods because of taste, dietary preferences, or misconceptions. Now, here's a key science insight. The vitamin's bioavailability depends heavily on how the food is prepared. For example, boiling or prolonged cooking can destroy up to 50% of the active vitamin content, while gentle steaming or quick pan-searing preserves much more. This is crucial because the active form is what your body actually uses to signal muscle repair. Raw vitamin content doesn't count if your body can't absorb it. On the other hand, supplements are a popular option, but they vary wildly in quality and effectiveness. Research in the Journal of Nutrition highlights that some synthetic versions are not as bioavailable, meaning your body gets less usable vitamin for the same dose. So how do you know when to choose food versus supplements? 1. If your diet includes the right foods cooked properly, you might reach sufficient levels naturally. 2. But if you struggle with appetite, dietary restrictions, or certain medications that reduce absorption, supplementation is a smart backup, preferably with a bioactive form proven by clinical trials. Here's a simple protocol to maximize uptake. Eat a vitamin-rich meal with healthy fats, like olive oil or avocado, to enhance absorption. Avoid alcohol and excessive caffeine around this meal, as they can interfere with vitamin metabolism. Consider taking supplements in divided doses rather than all at once to keep blood levels steady. One more thing, avoid taking this vitamin with large doses of calcium or magnesium supplements, which can compete for absorption. Now, we'll tie everything together with a practical, daily protocol that leverages all these insights: timing, diet, supplementation, and movement to restore your muscle strength and resilience. By now, you've seen how this overlooked vitamin is at the crossroads of muscle repair, signaling mTOR, powering mitochondria, boosting hormone sensitivity, and depending on smart timing and quality sources. So what does an effective, science-backed daily plan look like to restore your levels and rebuild muscle after 60? First, consistency is key. This isn't about quick fixes or one-off supplements. Your body responds best to a steady, integrated routine. Here's a simple, actionable protocol based on clinical studies and expert consensus. 1. Morning activation. Start your day with 10 to 15 minutes of light resistance movements, bodyweight squats, wall push-ups, or resistance bands. This primes your muscles and mitochondria for the vitamin to work efficiently later. 2. Vitamin intake with protein post-activity. Within 2 hours after your activity, take your vitamin dose alongside a leucine-rich protein source, like eggs, Greek yogurt, or a quality protein shake. This timing maximizes mTOR activation and muscle protein synthesis. 3. Movement throughout the day. Incorporate low-intensity movement every hour if possible, standing, walking, stretching. This boosts circulation and mitochondrial energy production, helping your muscle cells absorb nutrients better. 4. Balanced meals rich in the vitamin. Plan at least one meal daily featuring bioavailable sources, like lightly cooked salmon, liver, or eggs, paired with healthy fats, olive oil, avocado, to enhance absorption. 5. Evening wind down for hormonal recovery. Prioritize 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, creating an environment where growth hormone and testosterone can work with the vitamin to repair tissue. A calming pre-sleep routine, such as meditation or gentle stretching, can improve sleep quality. 6. Supplement wisely if needed. If diet alone isn't enough or absorption is impaired, use a clinically tested supplement in divided doses to maintain steady blood levels. Avoid taking it with calcium or magnesium supplements that interfere with absorption. This protocol is designed to work with your body's natural rhythms, leveraging science to shift muscle repair from slow and painful to efficient and consistent. Remember the story I teased at the start, the 71-year-old woman who struggled to climb stairs but reclaimed her strength within 12 weeks? She followed a very similar plan: consistent light activity, timed vitamin intake with protein, and focused nutrition. Her results weren't a miracle. They were the predictable outcome of leveraging the right science and habits. Here's your challenge. Pick one part of this protocol and try it today. Maybe it's a 10-minute post-meal walk or adding eggs to your breakfast. Small, consistent changes lead to big, lasting muscle gains. If this video is helping you feel empowered about your health, please like, comment below what step you're trying first, and subscribe for more science-driven insights. Together, we'll build strength, resilience, and vitality, one science-backed step at a time. Let's take a moment to step back and see the full picture. Muscle loss after 60 isn't an inevitable fate. It's a complex process influenced by signals, energy, hormones, and nutrition. And today, we uncovered the pivotal role of one overlooked vitamin that acts as the master switch in this process. We learned how it activates mTOR, the essential pathway that tells your muscles to rebuild. Without it, even the best diet and exercise fall short because your body isn't getting the right signals. Then, we explored how this vitamin fuels your mitochondria, the energy factories in your muscle cells, powering every contraction and repair. When mitochondria falter, fatigue and weakness follow, but restoring this vitamin can breathe life back into your cellular engines. We also dove into the power of timing, taking the vitamin during your muscle's anabolic window, especially paired with leucine-rich protein, can double its effectiveness. And it's not just about the muscles. This vitamin enhances your body's hormonal environment by amplifying your sensitivity to testosterone, estrogen, and growth hormone, crucial players in muscle maintenance and repair. Importantly, not all sources of this vitamin are equal. We discussed how real foods, prepared carefully, can provide the most bioavailable forms, but when diet falls short, supplements can help bridge the gap, if chosen wisely and timed properly. Finally, I shared a straightforward daily protocol you can start today. Light resistance activity, timed vitamin intake with protein, consistent movement, nutrient-rich meals, quality sleep, and mindful supplementation. Why does this matter? Because muscle isn't just about strength. It's about your independence, your energy, your ability to enjoy life fully and confidently. By supporting your muscle repair with this vitamin, you're investing in years of better movement, reduced risk of falls, and a healthier brain-body connection. So here's my challenge for you. Pick one small step from today's protocol and commit to it for the next week. Notice how your energy, recovery, or strength shifts. And if you found this video valuable, please hit like, leave a comment sharing your plan or questions, and subscribe to join our community dedicated to aging stronger, smarter, and healthier, powered by science. Remember, reclaiming muscle after 60 isn't magic. It's mastering the science and applying it with consistency and confidence. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.